Hey y'all, Moses here. Welcome back to my beginner series for Escape from Tarkov. In today's video, we're going to be checking out the practice mode, and we're going to be going over some basics of movement that'll allow you to move through Tarkov without making a ton of noise and getting yourself killed. There's a lot to cover, so let's begin. Let's start with the practice mode. The practice mode is of utmost importance to any Tarkov player, especially a new one. You can use the practice mode to check out quests, practice fighting scavs, check out new content, try your stash run, find out where things spawn, and the list goes on and on. So I'm going to show you now how I use the practice mode to do dry runs of quests using a simple quest from Skier. First, let's set up our practice mode. We're going to go to Escape from Tarkov, select our PMC and our map, the time, and then we're going to go into this next screen and enable practice mode. Don't forget this, or bad things will happen to you. Enable PvE if you like. I'm going to leave it off for this because we're doing a dry run of a quest that's very, very simple. And factory is a little bit crowded when you have scavs turned on, and we're going to jump into the game. All right, here we are in factory. Now this quest is super simple, but I can use this time to talk about how I like to use the practice mode specifically for quests. If you have collection quests, exit quests, scouting quests, you can do all of that in the practice mode. Now, I'm not going to say that every quest needs to be practiced before you go ahead and do it for real, but for certain things on new maps that you've never done before or that the wiki isn't 100% clear on, this is a good way to just get a feel for it that is very, very much like the real thing. So we know that the syringe is in here, so we're just going to go ahead and grab it just for fun. Of course, your quest item will be there. And just like that, you know exactly what to expect when you come up here. Now, in Factory, this place is very busy. You're going to be fighting up here. There's a lot of quest drop-offs in Factory, a lot of quests to fight in the office area. Factory can be heavy. But on other maps like Shoreline, this mode is a must-have. And I promise you, if you're not using it, you're costing yourself time and a lot of efficiency. Now I want to talk about sound. There is probably no more critical component in Tarkov than sound when it comes to staying alive and locating enemies. Everything in Tarkov has a sound. Opening your bag, aiming your gun, walking on metal, walking on wood. It does not matter. There's a sound for that. I'm going to show you a brief gameplay clip. I want you to count the individual sounds you can pick out as I do some very normal stuff. As I mentioned in the previous video, Tarkov is a game of knowledge, and audio is just as important of a factor as any other in the game. My recommendation to you is don't give information away for free. Every time you willingly walk through a bush when you don't need to, or throw a grenade, consider what you're doing and what kind of information that's giving to the players around you. If you creep through an area or walk through an area, make sure you're taking note of the sounds you're making, and that way if you hear someone coming up behind you, you'll be able to model kind of where they are if your memory's good enough. I'm going to show you another very brief clip, and then afterwards, I'm going to take the video away. I want you to try and visualize using only audio. Building up your memory for sound will eventually become a database of different areas of different maps that will turn you into a Tarkov god. So start early. Don't give out information for free. Move cautiously, move deliberately, and keep note of the sounds you and other players are making. The last thing I wanted to cover is settings. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth here because I've basically stolen most of Tulu's settings from his video. I'm going to link that down in the description below. If you want to copy mine, go ahead. Just a quick note though, I play in borderless because I stream and I'm in and out of the game a lot. You can too if you want to tab to and from the wiki and you have 2 monitors. Ultimately though, full screen is the best performance. Beyond that, I also play with my texture settings on high because I like the game to look a little bit nicer. You can copy my post effect settings here as well. Since we've been talking about audio, there is one setting that you probably should change, and that is your interface volume. This at max is just way too loud. You're going to have a lot of sounds overlap by your interface, clicking in and out of your menus, in your inventory. Reduce this down to just barely audible. I have mine 10 or 20. I think 20 is probably fine. You can go a little bit lower. Don't turn it off, but definitely have this reduced because it will step on other audio in the game, which could be very critical for you. The last thing I wanted to cover off is a couple of binds. Inspecting your current weapon, as well as fixing your chamber malfunction, is very important. These 2 binds are inconvenient by default, so I'm going to tell you how I've changed mine. I don't use the Tarkov dev console at all. I use an external FPS counter. I have no reason to go in there. So what I've done is I've changed my inspect current weapon to my tilde key. You can set this up in a variety of ways, but I recommend that you keep it very simple and easy to remember, which is why I've got mine set up the way this is. The reason you have this set up is for when your weapon jams. This happens when your weapon is under full durability. It happens most frequently on your scav. If you ever get into a gunfight and your gun won't fire even though it's fully loaded, it's likely jammed. You're going to need to inspect it and then try and clear that malfunction. You don't want to be fumbling around with this. Make sure you have this top of mind and easy to remember if you ever have a weapon malfunction. Since we have a little bit of time left, I wanted to talk about one thing that kind of straddles between settings and audio, and that is equalization. I've recently switched to in-ear monitors. I've found since my streaming career started that my hearing is getting worse, and likely yours is as well. Tarkov has excellent sound, but also it could potentially damage your hearing when you're straining to hear footsteps, playing at max volume, and listening to gunshots. Like any other realism game, this is going to realistically damage your hearing if you don't take care of it. I'm going to leave one more link for you down in the description below, and that is to an equalizer setup guide. I am of the mind that this is a health issue similar to the person who wrote the guide. Some people feel this might be an unfair gameplay advantage. I'm going to leave the choice up to you, but if it were me, I would prioritize my hearing over the opinions of people on the internet. Thanks for watching today's video. I've been experimenting with shorter form content for the last little while now, so if you'd like to see these guides get a little bit longer, let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/wtfmoses, as well as all my other socials. I'm not sure what I want to do for my next video, so I want to hear from you. Again, comment, you know the deal. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it, and until next time, we'll see you out there.